When we last left off at the very last moment of peril, when things were really at their worst, while hanging precariously from the cliff's edge, Miguel managed to clear his sweaty, sand-filled, blinded eyes, thanks to the help of Rescue Horse's handcrafted silken cloth. Though despite Miguel looking down, realizing he wasn't that high, and dropping ever so slightly to the earth below, he now found himself in a pit of venomous, aggressive rattlesnakes. That's where we find him now, in this episode of
Rescue Horse!
I'm sure in a pit of venomous, aggressive rattlesnakes here. It's too bad.
He was in a pit of venomous, aggressive rattlesnakes. Miguel's brilliantly pattern-knitted Peruvian llama's wool booties were no protection from the needle-like fangs of these venomous serpents. The cavernous pit had only one way out, and it was inconveniently guarded by a slithering mound of danger.
These snakes are so very venomous and also aggressive. I'm paralyzed with peril here. Paralyzing peril. So perilous. Peril.
Just then, a whackload of venomous, aggressive rattlesnakes emerged from the mound, slowly slithering towards Miguel's ill-protected leggings.
Oh.
Will Miguel ever survive this terrible ordeal? Find out next time in Part 2 of Part 3 of Season 1 of
Rescue Horse!
Rescue Horse was written by Jason Sargent and produced by Andy McIsaac. Miguel played by Jason Sargent, narrated by Andy McIsaac.
In Part 1 of Part 3 of Season 1, Miguel found himself trapped in a pit of venomous, aggressive rattlesnakes. Alone, and with the vipers approaching, Miguel was paralyzed with peril. We now return to Part 2 of Part 3 of Season 1 of
Rescue Horse!
While Miguel stood there in the dusty cavern with the sand that gets everywhere, with an ever-growing number of serpents slowly slithering towards him, he realized that if he does succumb to the ravenous stings of the serpent's bite, and even still somehow manages to escape, he knows not where he is in this vast expanse of sandy desert, and therefore has no way of knowing where he must travel in search of an anti-venom.
What a pickle I've gotten myself into.
He was in a pickle from which he may never escape. A wind began to churn inside of the pit, blowing sand around that gets everywhere. Miguel raised his sand-covered hand to his face and called out to the wind.
Rescue Horse!
Rescue Horse heroically leapt into the pit, thrashing about like a wild zebra. The venomous, aggressive rattlesnakes scurried back into their danger mound to avoid the thunderous trampling hooves.
Rescue Horse, I can always count on you.
There, on Rescue Horse's comfortable Arabian saddle hung a small glass vial. Miguel, assuming it's for him, removes it from the luxurious fuchsia-tasseled saddle and opens it ever so cautiously. There inside was a tiny, delicately rolled papyrus. Carefully unrolling it, he reveals a map of the finest artistry, hand-drawn by a cartographer of exquisite talent and expertise. The intricate detail included a "You Are Here" arrow, and a line leading all the way to the nearest hospital.
Thanks, Rescue Horse. See you next time there's some peril.
As Miguel watches our brave Rescue Horse effortlessly leap out from the cavern bottom, he finds comfort in knowing that no matter what trouble he finds himself in, no matter the peril, no matter the place, he is never alone. Somewhere nearby will always be
Rescue Horse!
Rescue Horse was written by Jason Sargent and produced by Andy McIsaac. Miguel played by Jason Sargent, narrated by Andy McIsaac.